Hello. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wellness Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm joining you through Zoom, so I can't see any of the comments right now, but I will catch up with you after. So please leave any questions that you have after today. All right, today we're talking about building strength and mobility through Pilates. And, in our midlife and beyond, we have other things that we have to be concerned about, right? Our bone density, our joint mobility, right? All these things shift and change, hormonal balance, energy levels, sleep. And Pilates really speaks to a lot of those. I started Pilates back in about 2008 and took my certification in 2009. And what drew me to Pilates was I was actually injured. I was at a yoga show, and the woman who was teaching Pilates, and she got me into a Cobra, which they call Swan in Pilates, pain free. And I hadn't been able to do that in a year. And that just blew my mind. And so when after that experience, I wanted to know everything I could know about Pilates. And I went to Toronto with a wonderful friend of mine, Lisa, who has Move Pilates. She has her own page. And we went through for our Pilates certification. What I loved about Pilates is that my body at that time was very short and tight. Lots of gym time, lots and lots of running, big impact stuff, spinning. And my body was really short and tight. And when I came to Pilates, I really couldn't believe how weak my body was at a very deep level. Okay, so if you can imagine, I'm in Pilates school, I'm in a plank pose, and the girl beside me has these really thin little arms, and me, like I'm just ripped right out at that point in my life. And I'm vibrating to try and do it properly, and she's nailed it. And I just looked and went, no, what do I need to do here? So this actually worked out perfectly because I was in my midlife when I entered the Pilates world. And in Pilates, we look at building strength, okay, around the spine, building the foundation of the house. And there's a common myth that Pilates is just about your core. You just do Pilates for your core. That's a myth. You do Pilates for whole body. Okay, it works your whole body. I love Pilates because it's low impact. So it's suitable for everybody. It trains my whole body. It's joint friendly. Find way less impact on my joints. And as we're aging in midlife experience and beyond, right, often depending on what our lives look like, in our 20s and 30s and early 40s in regards to activity and stuff, we could be getting a little sore, some injuries. Pilates helps to rebalance the body. It helps our breath move better. In today's society where we are quite stressed, anxious, we have anxiety, at levels that we've not seen before. And so Pilates helps with that diaphragmatic breathing, getting the breath into the diaphragm, getting the diaphragm moving. That's our biggest breathing muscle. That helps that mind-body connection, helps our bodies work more efficiently. But when we can move our breath, we can also calm our minds. Right? Big game player there. Pilates increases our strength in a functional way. So our muscles are mostly long. It's called static and dynamic stretching. So moving, flexibility, and static, so staying still. But when we're building strength in Pilates, it's a functional strength. So we build strength when the muscle is longer. And so daily life becomes easier. Okay. And, for instance, our hip moves, right? Comes up, goes out to the side, goes behind, comes through, right? Pilates gives me that range of motion. Okay. So, what does your hip do when you think about that? And let's say that you have a limited range in your hip. What does that look like 5 years from now? And remember, Pilates is doable by anyone. But again, you need to show up and make it consistent. Pilates works on balance, helps with our balance. This translates into fall prevention. Okay. And body-mind connection. We talked about that, right? Pilates takes us deep into our bodies. And it teaches us really what's going on there, how it feels. And it's so mind engaging because there's so much happening in Pilates that it helps to manage and reduce stress levels. So I love Pilates for all of those things. Working with clients in midlife and beyond, I've seen, and I forgot to mention it improves your posture. That's a big one, right? What happens as we age? And we drag the feet. Right? Especially in today's society where we're always here. Pilates, it's that sense of growing taller, okay, more support in through the muscles that support the spine, right? So I love Pilates, obviously, right? It has really changed my body. And in working with my clients from, 40, 45 into 80s, I have seen the benefits that Pilates has for mobility and strength and just doing everyday things easier. Gardening, shopping, house cleaning, right? Maintaining that independence. Now, does Pilates tone our body up? Absolutely. Is Pilates meant for all body sizes? Absolutely. Okay, often when we go online, we see very tall, lengthy women doing Pilates, and that's beautiful. But Pilates is for all sizes. Okay, I'm not built that way. I never have been. But Pilates keeps me doing all the things that I love. So any body type, any body size can show up to Pilates. All right, so enough chat about Pilates. Let's do some Pilates, right? I love standing Pilates, and if you've been with me for a while, you would know that. Okay. I really like to work standing. We're going to do some standing, and we're going to do a little bit down on the floor. All right. Are you ready to get going? Awesome. Okay. Let's take our hands, put them at the sides of our waist, right here, and let's inhale into our hands. So that we can feel the rib cage go out. Now that's an exaggeration of what a rib cage is going to do, right? But it's just that sense of the ribs reaching towards the walls on either side. And then as we exhale, see if you can feel that belly go a little flat and wide without bringing your pubic bone to your belly button, but just maintaining a nice neutral. I want you to let your mind now drop into your body. Take your attention now to your feet. How does that weight feel right, left? Does it feel like the weight's more forward? Does it feel like the weight's more back in the heels? Does it feel even? Does the right foot feel heavier than the left, or vice versa? Just notice. No judgment. Don't hang out there. Just notice what's going on. One more breath. Good. Let's take one leg and circle it, and circle it, and circle it. Okay, notice I'm touching the floor the whole time. Circle, circle. Notice my ankles moving. Add my arms, circle, circle, circle. Might be square for you. That's okay, right? Just smile. You're moving your body. You're moving your joints. Circle. Good. Now stay tall. As tall as you can be, reaching out through the crown of the head without locking your joints. So this knee stays soft. One more. Good. Switch sides now. And circle. And circle. Just notice if you get a sense of the leg, okay, circling, as well as the foot. And then add the arm. It's doing the same thing as the leg. And again, I'm trying to stay really tall. You can see where that single leg balance is coming from. Kind of working around my hip joint. That's it, growing tall. My core has to work here. And one more. Good. Now lift the knee. Lift the knee. Now notice my ankles. I notice my ankles. Joints have spring. Spring. Okay, so I'm working through my ankle, then my heel touches. I'm only lifting my knee as far as feels good for me. I'm going to add that breath in. And then I'm going to take the arm back. Back. Maybe I'm going to add some waist. Do a little twist. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm going to come nice and big and lift all the way up. You're just playing the body you just showed up with, right? That's the beauty of it. You get to play where you're at, not where I'm at. One more of each. That's it. Good. Nice job. Go wide now. Go wide. Just wide through the feet. Notice how I'm lifting my heels as I take my weight from one side to the other. One side to the other. Bring my hands in front and twist. Twist. I want to bring my arms below my shoulders, twist through my waist. Think ribs turn, ribs turn, ribs turn, ribs turn. That's it. Ribs are turning. Stay with that breath. As long as you breathe in, you're good. Right? It's amazing how much we hold our breath when we're moving. Got two more each side. Nice, feels good, eh? And last one each side. And bring it back to center. Nice. One hand comes to the shoulder. Other hand reaches down to the anchor down through your feet. There's a little bit of spring here, ankle, knee, hip, right? We don't want to be locked out. Little spring, right? Little spring. Now I want you to think about bringing bottom rib towards the top of the pelvis. And then exhale, this side waist is going to pull us back up, nice and slow. Inhale to go over. Notice if you can feel your side waist, and if you can't, get your fingers in there. Because a lot of times what will happen is the shoulders will try to lift us up. Okay, see if you can isolate that to the waist. Body's between two panes of glass, nothing's locked out. There's a sense of ease in the joints. One more. Good, switching sides and taking it over. I want to feel like I'm coming up on this side. This bottom rib now is going to pull up towards that side pelvis. If that's back pain for you, you're working too hard, dropping too low. If that's neck shoulder pain for you, look at where you're moving from. Slow it down. One more. Good, shake that out. I'm going to hinge forward at the hip joint. Okay, so hinging forward. Here's my hips, right? I'm going to hinge back. And I want to get my heels nice and heavy. For some of you, okay, it might look like that. For some of you, it'll look like this. You just play with the body you showed up with. Then the arms are going to swim. Swim. I want to stay as flat backed as I can. And as I'm swimming, can you notice your shoulder blades moving? So we're bringing this movement from our back. That's where our focus is right now. From our back. Feel our shoulder blades move. Shoulders, arms, hands. Got a nice flat back. We're exhaling so that we engage the belly and add support to the low back in a forward flexed position. And 3, 2, last 1. Good. Let's go wide again and twist. Twist, twist, ribs turn, ribs turn, ribs turn. Even anchor my feet. So it's not a big one that there's a torque on my knee. It's a twist through my ribs, slow control, twist through my ribs. I can add the heel up. I'm going to stay right nice and tall through the crown of my head. 1 more of each. All right. Good. Shake that out. Step up to the front of your mat now, and we'll come down on the mat. All right. So some of you will step back and come into a child's pose because that's going to feel best for you. And some of you come into a pike pose. There is lots of value of being able to get our bodies up and down off the floor. And that is one thing that I really work with my clients, my students, is working at getting yourself up and off the floor. And 2 more breaths, pressing into the heels, drawing the belly. That's it. 1 more breath. Now let's come down onto the mat and come into a cat-cow. You could always put something underneath your knees here. I know that knees is not a favorite for everyone. You could do this seated as well, just moving through the spine. You could also be standing. Pubic bone to belly button, chin to chest. Opening it up, we're putting that lumbar curve into that low back, articulating that spine, really nice and slow here. Working with your breath, just moving your breath in each direction. Especially if you're new to Pilates, you really want to think about just breathing. Okay, not the coordination of the breath to movement. It gets overwhelming. It really, really does. So just think about moving. And if you could think about moving each vertebrae one at a time, what does that feel like in your body? And 1 more. Good. All right. Let's come through now and come down onto our backs. So we'll do a little bridge pose here. Pilates bridge. So coming down onto your back, we'll reach our arms towards our heels. Ankles underneath the knees, as much as feels good for you. You might have to bring them forward depending on the knees that you have. Okay? You can keep them hip distance apart, but often the back of the legs will start to scream at you a little bit. So you can take the feet wide, turn the toes out, and you've made the letter V here with your legs. Okay, just notice how it feels for you as you start to come up. Let's get the backs of the shoulders heavy, and the chin will drop slightly, just so that you feel the back of the neck lengthen. Inhale.
And as you exhale, press into both feet and just lifting the hips up and then taking them back down. Just come into a moving bridge to start. We want to feel those glutes, so just notice. Think about those muscles as you press equally into both feet. So this helps strengthen our glutes, okay, our buttocks muscles. In this world of sitting, they get very weak, and they're not there to support our low back. Now, let's just hold it here. If you're feeling low back tension, let your hips drop a little bit, okay? For those of you who want to play with a little bit more, you're going to add one heel up and then the other. Another thing I love about Pilates is it progresses. So as you get stronger, more aligned, you can work, you can progress in the exercise, having built the right foundation in it. Okay? So you're not taking yourself somewhere you don't need to be. And when you're ready to go there, your body is just in a better place to handle the stress from the exercise. And heels down. 2 more breaths here. And then slowly take it down. Good. Let's take those fingers to, that nubbly part of your hip bone. Press into the left foot. Let the back of the shoulders grow heavy. And as you exhale, float the right leg up to tabletop. Maybe that feels really great for you. Okay, maybe that's where you're going to stay. Maybe on your next exhale, you're going to float your left leg up to tabletop. If that translates into back pain, or when legs are up, you feel your rib cage pulling up and off the mat and arcing away, okay, you want to keep one foot on the floor. That's what your body needs right now. Your mind might not need it, but that's what your body needs. All right, bring your arms down. And maybe you're going to touch your toe and lift it up. Maybe you're going to lengthen your leg and pull it back. Maybe you're in double hip fold. You're going to press one leg out. And maybe you're going to take your arm up and bring it back and forward. What's happening in my ribs? I'm paying attention to that. See the beauty of the progression here. Exhale. And one more. Good. Taking it down. I'm going to switch sides. Some of you are already up in a double hip fold. Okay. And you can take the leg. What's happening with the spine? You can add the arm. For those of you in double hip fold. And watch this leg. Keep that knee stacked over, right? It's a 90-degree here. Arm is totally optional. And I want to slow that right down. So I can feel my core work. And one more. Good. Feet come down. Bring the arms. Take them one way. Take the knees the opposite. Great stretch. Unwind through the spine. One more of each here. And last one. Nice. All right, let's roll it over now. And maybe you're going to bring yourself up to standing from here. Maybe you're going to pike yourself up. Okay. Again, that ability to lift our body weight up and off the floor, so important. Walk your feet forward and just a nice slow roll up. Nice. Bring yourself into standing. Now remember at the beginning, we looked at how our feet felt on the floor. So just notice now.
Grow tall. Notice how you're feeling now in a standing position. Notice if maybe the weight is a little bit more equal right, left, if the feet maybe feel a little more connected to the floor, and it feels a little bit easier to hold yourself up because we now have these muscles, our core muscles, which is the short wetsuit, nice and good. Hands come to the heart. What are you most grateful for right at this moment? Maybe you feel a little more connected to your body right now. Feel a little taller. Feel like the breath moves easier. Even feel a little stronger. Good. And out. So many benefits to Pilates in the midlife and beyond experience. It really, I find anyway, in my opinion, is one of the keys to the aging body at maintaining mobility and strength, helping with fall prevention, stress levels, bone, lean muscle mass, okay? Helping us sleep better, that mind-body connection. It's a win-win all around. So I hope you really enjoyed today's Wellness Wednesday. And I know we had a long session today, but that is wonderful. I have so much to share with you. And if you hung out to the end, I am so excited to have you here. Thank you so, so much. You can watch this Wellness Wednesday on the page. You can catch it on my YouTube channel, which is Healing Place, as well in the Healing Place community virtual studio. I have a beginner Pilates in there, and I teach 3 times a week a very balanced program to my students where we are working on building strength, mobility, calming the mind, and a positive mindset every single week. And, you know, the changes that I've seen there are fabulous. I'm having an information session about the Healing Place community and virtual studio on Tuesday, February, next Tuesday. That's when I'm having it. Brain fart there, the 6th. Okay, at 7 o'clock, where you can come in. This is a virtual studio. Okay, you come in, look around. What does it look like? How does it work? Right, and I've made it a really affordable price for everything. Got just amazing, and a beautiful community of like-minded women who are just there supporting each other, rooting each other on, and you know, sharing space, getting healthier, and taking care of themselves. All right, so hopefully I'll see you there. I will drop the link for that, and thank you again so much, and may you be happy, may you be healthy. Take care of you.